Okay, we're over here on the east side of the house. This is the electric power coming into the home. Okay, and so it's coming up here through a conduit, which has a joint on it. The box, both of these boxes, the main disconnect box and the meter box, should have been sealed on 3 sides to help prevent moisture from coming down in there. Okay, the main neutral has been wrapped with white tape. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But L1 and L2, it's copper coming into aluminum. L1 and L2 should have protective boots. See all that electric wire in there? You think that's going to be hot? You think somebody's going to touch that? If you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in this box. I get that. But it should have a protective neoprene. Sometimes they use like a plastic cardboard, but a protective cover all the same over L1 and L2. It should have. Moving on along, that was the east side of the living room. Now on the west side of the attached garage, this is our load center, our electric service panel. We do not have a main principal inside of this panel. Okay, the main disconnect is over there. That's for first responders. Technically, you could say that this is a disconnect. You got 6 throws that would de-energize the cabinet. Would they? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it at all. So you don't even have so you don't have a main principal or a disconnect. Alright, we're coming in here. See these breakers down here? These are called stackable breakers. 2 bars. See the graph over here? It says stackable breakers are allowed. That's a good thing. So if a home inspector comes in and starts saying, you got stackable breakers, you know, you're like, well, what does the label say? You know, because the label says that's perfectly copacetic. What the label does not say is that this is Eton. Okay, this is a square D panel. These are square D breakers. We've got a mismatched breaker in here. Alright, now coming on along. Now L1 and L2 do not have to have protective covers. One day they will, but they don't. Okay, so we move on along, but we got white hots. It's kind of like the white line on the neutral. If you don't know that's a hot, you don't belong in the cabinet. I get that. We've got white hots. These should have been wrapped with black tape. Should have been wrapped with black tape. What else have we got? Come on, bud. I almost hate to go here, but this is called bundling. Alright? You're only supposed to bring 3 cables. See that? 3 cables in your neutral coming in here. That's all you're supposed to do. That's all you're supposed to do. These are for these cables. You're not supposed to bring more than 2 cables in at a time. That's why we have all these little holes. Because in the in the factory they didn't know. The electrician, he just goes like, oh man, just knock that big knock out of the center, just run all those in there for a home run. Oh, Philip, you're the fastest guy in the shop. I know. I'm getting a raise. Doug and Philip did this. Now, the reference that I have baked inside your inspection report is almost apologetic about bundling. It's very common is what they say and all that. Again, I hate apologizing for my work. But statistically, probably not much is going to come about that. There will come a time when you replace the whole cabinet and then you can go in there and get it done right. But to sit here and just take the whole cabinet, existing cabinet with its warts and all apart and just to get that right, that might not be, you know. I would never dissuade my client from seeking perfection. Maybe you want to do that, but this is something to weigh and to consider. So, not supposed to have a gap between the cabinet and the wall more than 1/16 of an inch. Look at there. Oh, bud, you can't be serious about that, can you? Yeah, that compromises the fire blocking. They can do it over here. Okay, that's fine. Fine. They come over here and all of a sudden they forget how to do it. Is that what happened? Okay. I guess they forgot how to do it. And then this debris shouldn't be in here. So what did we learn? We learned that there's 2 grounds on the main panel. I didn't point those out to you, but there are 2 grounds on the main panel, so we got double grounding. We do not know where the bonding is. Apparently this is going to be a PEX system according to some of my observations on the water here. So I don't know where the bonding is. The bonding location has not been labeled in here. Okay, that's what we learned. We learned that we do not have the protective booties over on the main box. We don't have a main principal on this box. We learned that our white hots have not been wrapped with black tape. We learned that we've got bundling. We learned that we've got gaps between the cabinet and the box. See, the front fits right over here. We've got that big gap in there, and the cabinet was supposed to be able to seal that cabinet up. That's what you're supposed to be able to do. We learned that we got AFCIs in our bedrooms. Okay, if this home was built this morning, we have AFCIs just about everywhere. But, 20 years ago, they were just required in the bedroom, so that's what we got. We learned that we got debris in the cabinet. We're missing, if you count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. We're missing this screw right here. Sure are. So we're missing one of the screws that holds the dead front cover on. That's not a sheetrock screw. That's not a sheet metal screw. That's a machine screw. You need a cabinet screw and or a machine screw with real fine threads like that. That won't tear up your wires. We got debris in here, I think I already said that. And our breakers are not labeled. And when they were labeled, it looks like maybe they were labeled. And this is why they were handwritten. It wasn't durable. See where it says warning, advertisement, danger, squared E, that's printing. Okay, all these should have been printed so there would be no excuse. That's what the code says, that's what the manufacturer says. Will the house still work with all that empty information, lack of information, like on your condensing unit you're going to learn? Lack of information? Yeah, it'll work with a lack of information. Is it right? No, it's not right.